serbisyo. Walang problemang di malalampasan. Magliliwanag ang ating kinabukasan. Nouns Radio, silid-aralan sa radyo. Hatid namin makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo. Kahit saan at kahit kailan, hindi ka
Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kaalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan, ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
For something big.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWBR FM. Facts and information. Today's learning for new normal with capable teachers whose heart and soul are divine. Delivered knowledge inside your home through 106.3 Dance Radio. Fully dedicated to serve the public in tribute to education. We produce of radio-based instruction. We are pleased to deliver the utmost aim of education. Only here on 106.3 TWBR-FM.
The object of education is to prepare the young to educate themselves throughout their lives. Good morning, viewers, listeners, and to all grade 9 students out there. Today is October 21, 2021. Welcome to another episode of our RBI lesson for this week. I'm teacher Dennis Mendoza, your host for this hour, and special mention to my grade 9 Guyabano class. With me is teacher Raquel, who will be introducing all our teacher discussions and will give you some important reminders for this episode. Ma'am Raquel, please.
Hello, our dear Donians. Good morning and blessed Thursday to everyone. Today is another amazing day, another opportunity, and another chance for each and everyone to learn something new. An amazing morning to our Mayor, Mayor Joseph Christian Nino Chiwi, and to our officer in charge, the Chief Education Supervisor of SDO Isabela, Sir Rodrigo V. Pascua. And to our Assistant Principal, Ma'am Ruby Guillermo, also to our supportive head teachers, and especially to our head teacher, Ma'am Ofelia Ralutim. Also to all teachers and staff of Doña Aurora National High School, especially to the supportive teachers of the English learning area. To the parents, students, and to all our avid listeners and viewers here and abroad, most especially to the grade 9 learners. Special mention to my classes, 9 Lanzones and 9 Avocado. And I would like also to greet the 9 Mendel students of Ma'am Venus J. Lintao. And with me are the other grade 9 English teachers, Ma'am Susan, Sir Vic, and Ma'am Shirley.
Every kissing is a blessing. It's a promise of another productive day. Let us be thankful to our Almighty God because He promised in Philippians 4:19 that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. A blessed morning to everyone, especially to 9 Darwin. With special greetings of a wonderful morning from Ma'am Rosabel Arbillo for 9 Mango and 9 Macopa. Special greetings of a pleasant morning also from Ma'am Beverly L. Ramirez for 9 Manonas, 9 Chico, and 9 Atis. From Ma'am Shirley Acosta, good morning to 9 Dalandan and 9 Calamansi. I hope, dear students, you are all ready to interact with us.
And to my class Classes 9 Pasture and 9 SPA, how are you? It's a great day today.
Yes, thank you so much, teachers. I would like also to greet the classes of Ma'am Shirley C. Acosta, 9 Calamansi and Dalandan, and Ma'am Annabel C. Acopido, 9 SPJ. So today is another wonderful day, and we are glad to be with you as we embark on another fun-filled learning journey for the first quarter. And for today's lesson, we shall learn the modal verbs. For this lesson, you are expected to express permission, obligation, and prohibition using modals. For those who are following us via Facebook live stream, don't forget to comment in our chat box, lesson accomplished in grade 9 English. And we will also encourage all those who are with us today to please share this live so many learners and listeners will benefit or learn something from our simple discussion. Sir Dennis?
Okay, so what are we waiting for? Learners, get your learning activity sheets and your writing materials, for here is your RBA lesson for today. Enjoy listening only here on 106.3 FM, Dance Radio.
Dance Radio, silid-aralan sa radyo, atid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta na magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio, learning is amazing.
Facts and information. Today's learning for new normal. With capable teachers whose heart and souls are defined. Deliver knowledge inside your home through radio. This is the WDR-FM 106.3 Dance Radio, a community FM radio station of Doña Aurora National High School located at Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela. This is the WDR-FM 106.3 Dance Radio, fully dedicated to serve the public in tribute to education. With the use of radio-based instructions, we are pleased to deliver the utmost aim of education through distance learning approach. With subjects like English, Science, Math, Filipino, Araling Palipunan, PLE, MAPE, and ESP. The WDR-FM 106.3 Dance Radio is now ready to serve you right inside your home. This is the WDR-FM 106.3 Dance Radio, your school on the air. And now, here is your program host of the day.
Good morning, dear listeners, especially to the grade 9 students. This is your school on the air, and it's English time again. We are glad to be with you. Make it a habit to tune in here in our station, 106.3 FM Dance Radio. I am your host for today, Teacher Jennifer A. Velasco. With me is Teacher Michael John M. Tumulak, our technical specialist. Let us learn about modals today. It is better if you are in a comfortable place while listening on air. And to start, may I now introduce to you your radio teacher, Teacher Dennis U. Mendoza.
Good day, grade 9 students, and also to those who are listening right now. Again, I am your radio teacher, Teacher Dennis Mendoza. Be inspired by the quote from Malcolm X. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. How are you feeling today? It's nice to hear that you are all okay despite what is happening nowadays. Our objectives for today are: first, to use modals; second, to give advice or suggestions to concerned person; third, use must or must not to give a complete idea. Next is to write a paragraph about inspirations got from Helen Keller's biography. And the last one is to describe one's ability with the use of modals. As you go through, you are expected to enhance your knowledge and improve your speaking skills with varied traditions of the Anglo-American countries. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? I bet you are now very thrilled to launch yourself into a fun-filled learning experience. Let's get started.
Let's go!
Are you holding your learning activity sheets now? Remember, the title of your learning activity sheet is Express Permission, Obligation, and Prohibition Using Modals. Get ready because you are in for a ride. Ready? Before we begin, I have chosen an animal and you have to guess what animal is this. All of you know the animal. Are you ready? I will give some things that the animal can do. They can use their tails for balance, whether they are jumping, swinging, or climbing. They can even pick fruit and hold objects because they have fingers that are structured very much like humans. I think you already have an idea what animal am I talking about. Correct! It's a monkey! Do you also have special abilities? I guess you have. Don't be afraid to show it. The word can that expresses ability is one of the modal verbs. Yes, modals. We will tackle about modals expressing permission, obligation, prohibition, and ability. Based on the example, how do you define modals? Great! Now, let's see if your definition of modals is the same as mine. Modals are special form of verbs that are combined with the main verbs to form special meaning. Yes! Modal verbs always accompany the base form of another verb having semantic content. A modal is a type of auxiliary or helping verb that is used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. There are 10 types of modal verbs: can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, and ought to. When we get back, let's discuss the different modal verbs and their functions.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. I have just finished accomplishing the task found in my module. How can I send you my outputs for checking and feedbacking?
Oh, that's a nice question. There are actually 3 ways for a student like you to submit your outputs. 1. It could be via online. That is, if you are capable to connect online. You can just upload your outputs in your Google Classroom, or you can take pictures and send them through your group chat or messenger account.
Ma'am, how about if we do not have internet connection?
If you do not have internet connection, you can submit your accomplished tasks in two ways. 1. You can ask your parents to submit your outputs in the designated drop-off center. 2. You can save your outputs if you have available flash drive, CD, or DVD at home, and submit it in the designated drop-off center in your respective barangay.
Wow! It's nice to know that there are varied ways on how we can submit our accomplished task.
Always remember, for submission of outputs, you can do it via online, offline, or physical submission. Because at Dance, we make amazing things possible.
I'm back. Let's discuss first the modal verbs, which function is requesting permission and giving permission. Do you have an idea what are they? You may refer to your learning activity sheets on page 1. In requesting and giving permission, we use either the modal verb may or can. Remember that it is just more polite when we use the word may. May is used in formal style to request for permission, and it is in a form of question. For example, you are asking permission from your mother because you want to go outside. How will you say it? This is how you're going to say it.
Mom, may I go outside?
Notice the modal verb may is used because it is more polite when you are talking to your mother. Did you get it? Fantastic! Let's also try to use the modal verb can. Can is one of the most commonly used modal verbs in English. It can be used to express ability or opportunity, to request or offer permission. Here is an example of using can to request permission.
Can I borrow a pen?
Now, construct your own sentence using the word can. Good job! There's more! Now, let's discuss first the modal verbs, which function is to indicate obligation. If the obligation comes from the speaker, we use the modal verb must. Here's an example of this modal. Let's say, I have an obligation to take care of myself. I am not feeling well. I must go to the doctor. How about you? Can you also give your own example using the word must? Very good! You must study your lessons well. Now, if the obligation comes from someone else, or it is for an action that is necessary because of rules, we use the phrase have to. It is a rule for everyone in the country to wear face shields. So, we have to wear face shield starting August 15. But if you want to show that there is no obligation at all, just use do not have to or must not. Example, we do not have to wear face shield, or we must not wear face shield. Note that the word not is inserted. And the last modal verb that expresses obligation is the modal should. We use should to express weak obligation or an advice. For example, you should listen carefully during radio-based instructions. Of course, you should listen. You should eat more fruits and vegetables to keep yourself healthy during this pandemic. What else is your obligation during this pandemic? Now, can you make your own sentence using the modal verb should? That's right! Let's go to the next function. Modals that express prohibition. Prohibition means forbidding something, or if something that against the rules or against the law. We use must not. If you think your dad prohibits you to smoke, then you must not smoke. Or in the classroom, one of your teacher's rule is to turn off cell phones when class is ongoing, then you must not use it. Now, it's your turn to construct your own sentence using the phrase must not. I bet you did. Fantastic! You must not go to crowded places to avoid the spreading of virus. Great job! And for formal way to prohibit something, use may not. Example of this is, you may not eat in the conference room. You may also use cannot and should not. If you notice, not is added when you prohibit something.
Now, let's pause for a short reminder.
Do you encounter problems in accomplishing the different activities in your modules or learning activity sheets?
Worry no more, because your teachers are always ready to guide and assist you. You can send your questions or clarifications in 2 easy ways. 1. Call or text, and 2. Private message. So easy, right? Remember, at Doña Aurora National High School, we make amazing things possible.
This reminder is brought to you by Doña Aurora National High School and this station.
And I'm back! Let's move on to the last modal verb, can. Can has many functions. It expresses ability, offer, possibility, and suggestion. Birds can fly is a good example of ability. How about you? What can you do? Are you familiar with the song I Can by Donna Cruz, Regine Velasquez, and Mikey Cowanco? Tell me the things that the singers can do in this song.
I can live, I can love, I can reach the heavens above, I can right what is wrong, I can sing just any song, I can dance, I can fly, and touch the rainbow in the sky, I can be a good friend, I can love you until the end.
Those are all correct. I can do that for you. An example of offer. What can you offer to someone who is very hungry? Of course, you can buy him a food or you can share him a food. Remember, sharing is another name of love. For possibility and suggestion, we also use the modal verb can, like we can give you a job. And for more formal way, we use could. Always remember that. Let us have a recap of what we have discussed. Based on the topic, what are the modal verbs? Correct! Modal verbs are auxiliary or helping verbs which modify or change the meaning of the main verbs. We use modal verbs in giving advice or suggestions, in making requests, or in giving predictions and prohibitions. Can you construct a sentence with modal verbs? Very good! May I go out for a while? The word may is an example of a modal verb, and it is used in asking a permission. What about the modal must not? When do we use must not? Bravo! We use must not to show that there is no obligation at all. Can you name the 10 types of modal verbs? Exactly! The 10 types of modal verbs are can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, and ought to. Let's find out how well you have understood the lesson, my dear grade 9 learners. Turn your learning activity sheets on page 2. Have you seen activity 1? Yes, that's it. Your task is to choose the most appropriate modal from the box. Have you seen the box? Alright, my dear learners, in this activity, some modals can be used more than once. I hope everybody can follow. I repeat, now you are going to answer the activity 1 on page 2 of your learning activity sheets. You have to read carefully the sentences before answering. Write your answers on a separate paper. To help you improve your understanding of today's lesson, let's now proceed to the next activity. I think you are now ready to give advice using modals. So, in our next activity, I want you to prepare again your answer sheet, then use modals to give advice or suggestions to concerned person. Let's imagine you are in these following situations. One sentence is enough. Are you ready?
Let's go!
Let's have number 1. Your cousin intends to take up medicine, but the family's income cannot afford the expenses. Give him some other alternatives or options. I repeat, your cousin intends to take up medicine, but the family's income cannot afford the expenses. Give him some other alternatives or options. Alright, let's have the number 2 situation. Your brightest classmate in class tells you that she is applying for scholarship grant. Again, your brightest classmate in class tells you that she is applying for scholarship grant. What advice or suggestion can you give? Remember, use modals in your answers. Next, your friend is always daydreaming while classes are going on. I repeat, your friend is always daydreaming while classes are going on. And the last one is thinking it as a difficult subject. Your classmate is having difficulty in mathematics. What can you suggest? Again, your classmate is having difficulty in mathematics. You will answer 2 activities as your assignments to be submitted on the following day. Answer this activity on a separate sheet of paper. Turn your activity sheets and look for activity number 3. You will just use the modal verbs must or must not to give a complete idea based from the pictures given. Have you found activity 3? Good! Next activity is activity number 4. Read the biography of Helen Keller. Here, you will just use the word can to state the things that Helen can do. I know that you can do it. On the other hand, use cannot to state the things that she cannot do. In the next box, you have to give 3 things on how Anne Sullivan helped her using modals. You will write like this. She must teach her to read by touching. And the last box asks you to write a paragraph about inspirations you got from Helen Keller and Anne Sullivan. What else can you do? Describe your ability with modals based from the words given on page 4. What can you do while working with others? Think independently, learning new things and solving problems? Here, you have to construct your own sentences. Of course, I prepared a rubric for your output. I hope you learned something today. Till next time, bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Sir Dennis U. Mendoza, our radio teacher for today. On behalf of the production team, we would like to acknowledge our technical specialist, Teacher Michael John M. Tumulak, and of course, our script writers, Teacher Venus J. Lintao and Teacher Raquel A. Dumlao. Our next lesson is about conditionals. Make sure to tune in to our school's radio station, 106.3 FM, Dance Radio, where learning is amazing. Once again, thank you for being with us. This is your host, Teacher Jennifer A. Velasco, living a simple quote. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value.
Facts and information. Today's learning for new normal. With capable teachers whose heart and souls are defined. Deliver knowledge inside your home through radio. This is the WDR-FM 106.3 Dance Radio, a community FM radio station of Doña Aurora National High School located at Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela. This is the WDR-FM 106.3 Dance Radio, fully dedicated to serve the public in tribute to education. With the use of radio-based instructions, we are pleased to deliver the utmost aim of education through distance learning approach. With subjects like English, Science, Math, Filipino, Araling Palipunan, TLE, MAPE, and ESP. The WDR-FM 106.3 Dance Radio is now ready to serve you right inside your home. This is the WDR-FM 106.3 Dance Radio, your school on the air.
Dance Radio, siniparalan sa radyo, hatid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada. 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta't magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio, learning is amazing.
All right, you have just heard your first lesson for this quarter. And to start with our discussion today, may I ask you to answer this question. So here is the motive question. What thing or things can be compared or related to your talent, skill, or ability? Again, what thing or things can be compared or related to your talent, skill, or ability? So, we have here examples of things that you can compare with. On the screen are the images of guitar, goggles, there you have it, sketch pad, microphone, pen, and notepad. You have there the image of coloring material or watercolor. So while waiting for our learners to key in their answer in our chat box, fellow teachers, if you were asked the same question, what will be your answer? Of course, I will answer first, no? Nearest to my profession as a teacher this time of pandemic is the microphone. Microphone is related to voice, and I am using my voice to conduct kumustahan tayo, to follow up and join live stream like this to reach my students. How about you, Sir Vic?
Okay, for me, I select watercolor. That is my passion. Drawing, arts, paper cutting, and decorating is my life as a teacher. I used to decorate during barangay fiesta, town fiesta, and all the occasions of Doña Aurora National High School.
Hello, grade 9 learners! So I can relate my skill to a pen and notepad. Honestly, this pandemic, I have always these things, especially when I'm working in school and even at home. It is not for the reason that I am a teacher, that I have always with me my pen and notepad. It is because this pandemic, I am developing my skill in writing something using those things. Right? So, may we have also Teacher Raquel while waiting for the learners' responses?
Yes. I believe that music is a tribe for most people. And most people love music, right? So, I will go for the guitar. I can play a guitar, but just for the easy OPM songs. And someday, my dream is to be a skilled guitarist. How about you, Sir Dennis? Do you have?
Actually, we bothered by my laptop. Okay. So still we are waiting for the learners' response or answer in our chat box. But before that, siyempre, no, I would also like to choose the microphone because today's pandemic. Nowadays, we'll be using more on the splendid brain, especially I am here on the radio. So I'll be choosing the microphone because this expresses more about learning, what do you call that? Process on today. Okay, so still waiting for, okay, we have Ma'am Rosabel Brillo, no? Teachers. Make your voice louder. Oh, yes, tama, ma'am. Okay. So, do we have answers from the students? Still, wala pa rin po?
Sir, meron na yata.
Natasha. Ay, okay, Natasha Piertan, sabi niya, the microphone during this pandemic, my hobby because... Wala yata, okay. My hobby became singing every time I feel sad or stressed to make me feel fine.
Wow.
Thank you. Anyone again? Still another one. Let's say another one. Oh, salamat kay ano ha. Okay. Meron pa tayo? Still we are
Meron pa
waiting.
ba?
We are waiting for students' response for the question. Okay. Still, meron lang tayo si Natasha Pirtan. Okay. Okay. I believe every person is born with talents, guys. Okay? And those talents are meant to be shared. And those are special abilities. This is connected to our lesson for today. Modals are used in many ways, and it includes expressing ability. We have Angeli Pineda. For me, I go to guitar because music gives me a refreshing mind, and also I can play guitar but the basic only. Oo nga pala, because we have a delay, ma'am. Malakas pang delay natin, so siguro.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you very much, Natasha and Angeli Pineda. Okay.
Alright. So again, modals are used in many ways and includes expressing your ability. So dear learners, let us all discover and explore modals. But what do you mean by modals? Okay. So modal verb is a type of verb that is used to indicate modality, that is ability, permission, request, capacity, suggestions, order, obligation, or advice. Modal verbs always accompany the base form of another verb. And they behave differently from regular verbs. Yes. So modal verbs are different from other auxiliary verbs as they cannot stand alone in the sentence.
Yes.
So they should always be followed by the base word or the base verb word like play, work, run, or eat. Okay? So they lack an ing form, ed, or s. Okay? So let's look at some examples of what modal verbs are.
Yes.
Okay, so we have can, can't, could, couldn't, must, mustn't, have to, don't have to, should, shouldn't, would, wouldn't, will, won't, and shall, shan't. So these are the modal verbs. Later, we will just present to you some of these and we'll learn their different uses. So, may I request students to get your last as your reference? Thank you. But before we discuss the different uses of modals, Ma'am Shirley will give you now 3 basic rules, okay, you can follow to avoid the mistakes that are usually made with modal verbs. Ma'am Shirley, take it away.
Alright, grade 9 learners, you need to listen very well with the 3 basic rules that we can follow to avoid the mistakes that are usually made with modal verbs. Okay, let us have the basic rules. With the first one, you are going to use the modal verbs as is. Okay, so we have here the examples. Okay, the grammatically correct statement is I can walk. So the modal can is en toto or as it is. Okay, do not say I can walk or even I can walks. So the modal verb can remain as it is in the statement. Okay, not only can our dear learners, but all of the modals should remain as it is. Okay, did you get them, our dear learners? Okay, all right. So let us proceed with the second one. Okay, use base verb after modal. Don't use to. Okay, like with this instance. Okay, he may join us. Okay, we don't need to put to after the modal. May, just like he may to join us. So that statement is grammatically incorrect. Okay, so we may simply say he may join us. Okay, so that's the second rule. Let us proceed with the third one. Use not after modals. Don't use don't, doesn't, isn't, aren't, wasn't, and won't. Okay, with the exception of have to. Okay, for example, with the use of should, it is followed by the negative form not. You should not smoke. Okay, do not say you don't should smoke. So do not write the negative form before should. So it is written after you should not you don't should smoke. Okay, with the case of have to, then we may insert the word don't before have to. This is the exception for this rule. You don't have to smoke. Okay, did you get them? Okay, we hope so. Okay, so this time, okay, let us see whether you know how to identify grammatically correct or grammatically incorrect use of modals in sentences. Okay, let us try the following statements. Okay, you may comment your answer by telling correct if the modal in the statement is used correctly, and chat incorrect or type incorrect if the modal that is used in that statement is incorrect. Again, our dear learners, you may comment correct for grammatically correct use of modals in a statement, and type incorrect if the modal is used incorrectly in the statement. Okay, I hope our dear learners got my instruction. Correct only and incorrect. Okay, so let us start with the first one. You must to finish your homework. Again, you must to finish your homework. Do you think that this statement is grammatically correct or incorrect? Okay, you may type your answer on the chat box.
Please include the item number. And please include the item number.
Yes, don't forget to write the item number. For example, 1. You answered, for example, correct or incorrect. Again, for number 1, you must to finish your homework. Okay, do we have already responses, Sir Dennis?
Yes, we have, this is number 1, right? Okay,
Yes.
that's number 1. We have, tignan natin yung pinakamalapit. Kailang dami na sumugot. Okay, kung sino sa kailan na una. Ito siguro. We have Natasha Pearton of 9 Darwin. Ang sagot niya ay incorrect.
Alright. So, the correct answer is incorrect. So, it is because of the word to inserted after must. So, we don't need to insert the word, yes, the preposition to after the modal must. So, simply, we may, to make it correct, we may say, you must finish your homework. Okay, very good for that correct response. Okay, let us proceed with the second one. They should go. They should go. Okay, do you think that this statement is grammatically correct or incorrect?
Thea May Galabay answers incorrect.
Alright, so what makes it incorrect? It is because of the insertion of the letter S with the modal should. Okay, we don't need to add S with the modal should to make it plural. Okay, so maybe with this statement, it is because of they. That is why S is being inserted with should. But this is grammatically incorrect. Simply, should is as it is or en toto. They should go. Do not insert S with modal should. Okay. So I guess our dear learners could easily identify if modals are used correctly in statements. Okay, let us proceed with number 3. He doesn't, should not smoke. Again, he doesn't, should not smoke. Okay, do you think that this statement, our dear learners, is grammatically correct?
Fatima Manukjok answers incorrect.
Okay, if we try to analyze the statement, we have double, it's not double. Yes, we have double words signifying that the statement is negative. So we have doesn't and not. So what must be the correct one for this statement? Okay, so we need to remove doesn't. Okay, so we remove doesn't and we may have this sentence in this way: he should not smoke. Again, he should not smoke. We need to remove doesn't to make this statement grammatically correct. Okay, so I hope our dear learners followed on how to avoid common mistakes in modal verbs. Okay, so this time, Teacher Vic will discuss also about the next type of modal, which is modals expressing permission. Okay, may we have Sir Vic this time.
Okay, my dear learners, my task today is to expound on the modal expressing permission. Modal verbs like can, could, and may are all used for giving or asking permission. I repeat, modals can, could, and may are used in giving or asking permission. The modal can talks about permission or asks for things at present, meaning it is always used in the present tense or time. Here are some examples. Can I ask a question? Can I eat something now? All the interrogative statements are used in asking permission. Am I right, dear learners? Of course, when there is a question, automatically there is an answer or response. So we express our responses in declarative statement. Thus, can I ask a question? Yes, you can ask a question. Or you can just say, yes, you can. Can I eat something now? Yes, you can eat something now. Or just say, yes, you can. We can also use could or may to ask and give permission. Using could or may is more formal. Examples: could I please have a glass of water? May I use your notebook? Again, the two sentences are interrogatives. Of course, we respond to the questions by saying, yes, you could, or yes, you may. Now, in giving permission, and the sentence says, you could have a glass of water. You may use my notebook. Imply that you grant permission in response to the questions given earlier. It may happen now that we use modals in giving permission in sentences which are in the active voice, because these sentences may follow any of the sentence patterns: subject, verb, object, subject, verb, indirect object, direct object, subject, verb, object, objective, complement. Like in the sentences on the screen, you could have a glass of cold water. You may use my notebook. You as the subject, could have is the verb, which we call it modal plus the main verb called a verb phrase, and glass of water is the object. In this way, we can transform them into, number one, passive voice. Hence, we have a glass of water could be had by you. Now, we can omit by you because it is already implied. We can just say a glass of water could be had. Or we may use the other form, could plus have plus been. A glass of water could have been had by you. Again, we can delete the by you because it is already implied. In contrary to fact statement 2, I could have a glass of water, but I didn't. Now, those are the forms in which we can make use to answer or transform in the active voice. Either we use the modal plus be or modal plus have plus been plus the past participle. Now, it's your turn now, my dear learners. This time, I'm going to ask a permission sentence and then provide an appropriate response in the chat box. And the sentence is, can I eat breakfast now? Okay, you provide response in the chat box. Okay, while waiting for the answer, may I throw this back to Ma'am Roquel?
Okay, so again, the survey again. Can we hear again the question?
Can I eat breakfast now?
Can I eat breakfast now? So that is asking permission. So what will be your response, our dear students?
We have already here, we have Jewel Lacanilao from 9SPJ answers yes, you can eat breakfast now. Also, we have Iravel Fuentes Lumandas of Music, at 9 Avocado responses, you may eat breakfast.
No. Okay, that's correct. The
So,
first one,
yes.
If we use the word can, you are certain in doing it. And if you use may, a bit uncertain.
Okay, so we also have, I think this, yeah, I already read this already. Okay. Thea May Galabay answers, you may eat now.
Okay, that's direct and
thank you,
it
Thea.
says a direct impact.
Thank you, Thea. Okay.
Okay, so the answers, all your answers, our dear students, are all grammatically correct. Okay, so get ready because we are going to the next use of modals, and that will be discussed by Ma'am Shirley.
Alright, so let us proceed with the second types of modal. Okay, which is the modals of obligation. Okay, beside modals of obligation, we may have also modals which may connote no obligation. Okay, let us have the first one. By the way, grade 9 learners, the main verbs of modals of obligation are, we have must, have to, and should. So, what makes a modal later, okay, with the title na obligation? So, we shall have them one at a time. Okay, here, okay, first we are going to use must. Okay, maybe you have used already must in your daily conversation with your classmates before or even at home. Okay, use must when the obligation comes from the speaker. Okay, just like for the first example, okay, with the personal obligation we have here, personal obligations with the use of must. I must answer at least one question. Okay? I must do some work. So if you are a student, you may have these scenarios. You may use must, especially when you are working with your module. So it is really your obligation to answer your module. So you may relate with these examples. Okay? So they can also be official or written rule or instructions. Okay? For example, you must be 18 or older to vote. Okay? So it's a written rule because according to our law, okay, at the age of 18, okay, you have already the right to vote. So you must be 18 or older to vote. Okay, we have also duty or strong moral obligation. Okay, when we speak of moral obligation, this may pertain to, you know, what is right. Okay, for example, we must respect your parents. Okay, your strong moral obligation here is respecting your parents with the use of the modal must. Okay, we must respect our parents. Okay? So let us proceed with the next one. Okay, the next modals of obligation. We have to. Okay, we use have to when the obligation comes from someone else, not the speaker. Unlike in must, comes from the speaker, but have to comes this time from someone else. For those, are we referring as someone else? Maybe from your parents, from the people around you. For an action that is necessary because of rules. In short, it is for general and external obligations. Okay, in plural form, okay, we have the following. It is necessary because of rules. You have to wear a seat belt when you drive. Okay? So this statement comes from someone else. It may be from your father. I have to return the book now. Okay? So that statement comes from you. Okay? So it is your obligation to return your book, especially when you borrowed the book from the library. Okay? We have also the singular form. She has to finish the report by 5 o'clock. Okay, maybe you notice, our dear learners, okay, why not have to? Okay, we have here has to. Okay, considering the subject, she has to finish the report by 5 o'clock. So we may convert also not only to have to, but we may have the modal has to. Okay, in this case.
May I add, Ma'am Shea?
Yes, sir, B.
For the examples given on the screen, you are limited to using personal pronouns. We can also use that in nouns. So,
Yes.
plural nouns, use the have to, and singular nouns, use the has to.
Yes, so that's simply the rule for that case. Okay, thank you, Sir Vic, for that clarification for our learners. Okay, let us proceed with the next one. Okay, don't be confused with must versus have to. Sometimes, they are almost the same when we are using them, right? So, let us have the following scenarios. Okay, from a teacher. For example, you must complete this essay by Friday. Okay, with that statement, it is an instruction from a teacher. So, the teacher thinks that that instruction is really necessary for you to do, especially you, our dear learners. Okay, if the teacher said you must complete this, okay, so it is really necessary for you to accomplish. Okay, let us have the second scene. Okay, from a student. We have to complete this essay by Friday. Okay, so it is an external obligation. Whose external obligation? From a student, from you, our dear learners. So, from the command of the teacher that you must complete. So, your external obligation is, I have to complete, or we have to complete this essay by Friday as instructed by our teacher. So, from the given examples, must is really a must. It's really mandatory. You are obliged really to do it. Okay, have to make a note. Obligation also, but from other speaker. Okay, I hope you got the differences of the two. Okay, let us proceed with should. Should is used also. Yes, sir. Sir.
Now, you might ask me about the using of singular and plural nouns. It is especially used only for the modal have to, because it has two forms, the have and the has. But all other modals are used as is, whether the subject is singular or plural.
Yes.
Okay.
So thank you, sir, for that clarification. So all modals would remain as it is when we use in sentences except have to. So have to may depend upon its subject. If the subject is plural, we may use have to. If the subject is singular, we may use has to. Okay, thank you, Sir Vic, for that additional information. Okay, let us proceed with should. Should is used also for personal obligation, but weaker than must. And we use it to give advice. Okay, like with this example, I should eat more vegetables. Okay, so it is a weaker obligation. And you should eat healthy foods. So from that statement, okay, so should connotes advice. Okay, you should eat healthy foods, especially this time of pandemic. All right, so could you see the difference now, our dear learners? Okay, I hope so. Okay, so let us proceed with the next one. Okay, what about modals connoting the obligation? Modal verbs can be used to express lack of obligation to. Okay, what are we going to do? So, we may insert don't for plural subject and doesn't for singular subject plus the modal have to. It is used to show that there is no obligation. Again, the rule, we just simply put the word not after the other modal verbs except have to. Okay, for example, in singular form, Maria doesn't have to do the test. Okay, we use here first the negative form doesn't plus have to. Okay, and the subject Maria, so we use doesn't. The students don't have to take the test. Okay, this instant is in plural form. So the students is plural, so we use don't. The students don't have to take the test. Okay, you know those simple and basic rules, learners.
Additional, Ma'am Shi, most students are confused where to place the apostrophe. Sometimes they place the apostrophe between S and N.
Yes, sir.
Or in don't, they place the apostrophe between O and N. So usually the apostrophe expresses a missing letter, and the missing letter is O. So if we separate doesn't, it will become does not, and don't is do not. So we remove the O, that is why we change it to apostrophe.
Yes, so what we omit, we may replace it with what? With what punctuation? Apostrophe. Okay, so that's the basic rule also in terms of the use of contractions. Okay, so do we have more, Teacher Raquel, for this part?
Alright, so if you have understood already, okay, you have understood already, the modals is used to express obligation. Now, the question is, okay, let's see, what advice, okay, can you give to a person suffering from COVID? Okay, so you may use the modal should. Okay, what advice can you give to a person suffering from COVID? Okay, please use the modal should. Sir Dennis?
Still, we need to look for the responses. The question is, again, please repeat.
What advice can you give to a person suffering from COVID?
And they need to use the modal should. Okay.
Okay, we just accept one answer.
We need to wait for a second because the delay is more on 10 seconds. I think it's more than 10 seconds. So again, we will invite all the grade 9 learners to please respond to the question. What advice can you give to the COVID?
To a
COVID patient, okay? And using the modals should. Okay. Just wait for a second and invite all the grade 9 learners to please participate now.
Okay.
We have here, perhaps we have, it is Ravel Fuentes Lumanda says, of 9 Avocado, you should be strong to fight the virus.
Wow, very good.
Very good. Angeli Pineda of 9 Darwin, you should pray for your fast recovery and eat more nutritious food for your body. Thank you very much. Yan,
All right. So thank you for all your responses, dear students.
Thank you.
So I know you are ready now for the next use of modals. And it expresses prohibition. Okay, so what do you mean by prohibition? It is the act of making something illegal or impossible, or it is forbidden by law. So other terms for this is not allowed or not permitted. Okay, so notice that there is the word not. Okay, so in negative statements of prohibition, use the modals should, must, may, and can with the word not, okay, and the base of the verb. So to set rules and boundaries or give orders, we use these four modal verbs, okay, cannot, should not, may not, and must not, okay. Or you can use its contracted form, can't, shouldn't, or mustn't. So let's take a look on the modal verb can't. So can't is the most common way to prohibit something, okay, in English. So it is not as formal as must not or may not, but it is the most common. So here are the examples. You can't drive here. So meaning you are not permitted to drive there. So there is a prohibition. Next, you can't wear a hat in class. Okay, so means you are not allowed to wear a hat, okay, in class because it's disrespect. Okay, next, you can't smoke in the office. So means smoking is forbidden. So don't be confused with can't, which is normally used to show inability. So pwede kasi yun eh. Okay? It is like you are saying you do not have the ability because of the rules. So for example, inability, I can't smoke.
Yes.
Okay? Inability in the sense that that you have no means to smoke. Okay? And it will become prohibition because for example, you can't smoke in here. Okay? It will become prohibition because in that particular place, smoking is prohibited or not allowed. Okay? So, you can also use should not, okay, as a less formal modal in expressing prohibition. Okay? Next, let's look at more ways to prohibit something. We will use may not. Okay? May not is the formal way to prohibit something. Okay? So, for example, you may not smoke in this house. So, if you want to be more polite or in a polite way, okay, especially when you don't want to offend someone, no, you may say, you may not smoke in this house.
Even though, ma'am, even though this is a strong suggestion that you are not allowed to do this, but in a polite way.
Yes, in a polite way. Okay? Next, you may not wear shoes in the office. Okay? You may not eat in the conference room. Okay? So, if someone asks, may I smoke here? How will you say it politely? Or how will you respond politely? May I smoke here?
No, you may not.
Okay. You may
no, you
not
can't.
smoke here.
Pag galit ka doon sa tao kasi sabihin, no, you can't. Diba? Pero pag yung mga bata ha, pag respeto kasi tawag doon, we need to respect people. If we want to be treated as respectful, siyempre, respect mo. Kaya sabi mo, lalo pag matanda kausap mo, sabi mo, huwag mo sabihin, gaya gagamit yun, nakita mo, pumunta sa bahay nyo, tapos the person was trying to, to take a smoke. Sabi mo sa kanya, sir, you may not smoke in our house.
That's right.
Huwag mo sabihin you can't smoke here. Pwede mo sabihin yun, okay lang. Kaya lang siyempre, di ba? What sabi niya? Pwede mo sabihin yun, kaya lang, di ba?
Parang formal kasi.
Hindi, di ba?
So, since it is most formal, you will often see it in writing. Okay? So, finally, let's look on the strongest way. Okay? If there is more formal, there is a strongest way to prohibit something.
Yes.
Okay, why strongest? Must, okay? We will use the word or the modal must. Okay, it is strong that it is almost forcing, okay, someone or forcing something to happen. Just like what Mom Shirley said, okay, it is a command.
Yes.
Mandatory, okay, or we don't have other choice. Okay?
You must.
So must, okay, you must not use a cell phone. Okay, especially when it is a meeting with executive, so you don't have choice, okay, but to power off your phone. Okay, you must not write with pencil. It is usually in the examination.
Yes.
Okay, you must not play music, especially if the place is very quiet.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of this prohibition, let's see if students can say what symbol is this.
Yes.
Okay, what this symbol stands for.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if you know this, our dear students.
Let's have our students' response to these images that we are presenting right now.
Can you guess
Okay.
what this symbol stands for?
Dalawa na. Actually, ganda, no? There are two actually. Yan, Meta Cafe.
Okay, do we have answers or then?
Still, there's no response because I think the delay. Ayan. Okay, we have Cyril May Limos. She answers typhoon.
Okay, you are correct. Okay,
Yeah,
so
correct,
this
typhoon.
symbol stands for typhoon, okay, hurricane, or storm.
Kimberly Kaingat Mendoza answers typhoon.
Okay, very good.
Ang gagaling
So,
ng mga bata.
Trivia muna. Okay?
Okay, let's have a trivia.
So, do you know that the first deadliest storm was the 1881 Haiphong typhoon, and it killed 20,000
Wow.
people. Okay, and this one, okay, we are all aware of this, the Typhoon Yolanda, which has international name Haiyan, became the strongest landfalling tropical cyclone on record as it crossed the Visayas in central Philippines in November 7 to 8, okay, 2013. And there are 6,300
fatalities.
fatalities. So, let's go deeper now for the typhoon. So there are tropical cyclone categories. Okay, we have the tropical depression, which has 62 to 88 kilometer per hour. Okay, and then will become stronger and stronger. Tropical storm will become severe tropical storm, and then typhoon, and then
the super
typhoon. Ranges 220 kilometer per hour.
And more actually, ma'am.
Yes.
And
Are
more.
you curious, Sir Dennis?
Yeah.
On how to compute the speed?
Oh,
Speed of typhoon.
yeah, okay.
Okay, so let's say for example, no, this is the given. We will get the speed, if we will divide distance, traveled by the number of hours. Okay, the given is distance 255 miles and time 6 hours. Okay, so let's see if students can get the answer. You may key in your answer in the chat box.
What is the given? Well, actually, the given is the distance
Yes.
is 255 miles and the time is 6 hours.
Okay, you will just simply divide 255, divided by 6.
The 6 hours.
So what will be the answer?
What do we have? Okay, dear learners, you may now key in your answer to our chat box. What you need to do is divide distance from time. Well, we have Cyril May Limos answers 42.5 kilometer per hour.
Okay. Is it
Miles
correct?
miles per hour, I mean. Okay, do we have answers?
42.5. Okay, let's see.
Natasha Pirtan also 42.5. Rovelinia Isabel 42.5. Yan. Maghintay lang tayo kasi meron siya talagang traffic.
No?
Yes.
Okay, so let's
Almira
reveal.
Kalamayan Banyaga 42.5. Thea May Galabay 42.5.
Okay, so let's
Miles
reveal
per-
the
okay.
answer, Sir Dennis.
Okay.
Okay, the
Tududut,
answer
tududut.
is 42.5 miles
per hour. So
But-
we have Thea May Galabay. Yan.
Okay.
Speed is 42.5 miles per hour.
Okay, but, let's go back. So, the unit used is kilometer, sir. So, we have to convert it into kilometers.
Yes.
Okay, so, 1 mile is equal to 1.60934 kilometers. So, we'll just multiply it to 42.5 and, the answer will be 68.39712
Or 68
round it,
to
Ano
68 kilometers
68
per hour.
kilometer per hour.
Yan, ang galing ng mga
Okay.
bata natin.
Ma'am Susan,
Yes.
in what category, the 68 kilometer per hour?
Okay. Category of typhoon, wherein 68 kilometers falls, 62 to 88 tropical depression.
Yes, tropical depression.
So,
Okay.
cyclone with 68 speed of the wind is a tropical depression. It is just but a tropical depression, not a super typhoon.
Yes. That's right,
Tropical
Ma'am
depression.
Susan.
Okay.
Okay, so when there is typhoon, what are the things that we cannot do?
Wow.
What are the things that we cannot do when there's typhoon?
Ano nga ba?
Anyone from the
Yeah.
students?
Anyone from the city, please key in your answers. What are the things that we cannot do when there is a typhoon? There's a typhoon. Ano ba? Okay, sabi ni Tracy Ann Santiago Bulilan, na in Darwin, classes suspension. We cannot attend classes.
Okay.
So,
Please use the modal can.
Natasha Pertan answers, we can't travel.
Okay, very good.
Hindi, dinaretso ni Tracy. Classes suspension.
We can't go.
Yeah, Almira Calabalayan Banyaga answers, can't go outside.
Hey.
yes, you cannot go outside.
Iravel Fuentes Lumandes, Nine Abogado, you should not panic. Kimberly Kaingat Mendoza, we should not go to work. Oh, talagang ginamit na yung buong salat. Cyril May Limos, when there's a typhoon, we can't play outside.
Okay.
Of course.
So, everybody's answer is correct.
Yeah,
okay?
Maribeth, gantel, gante, we can't go outside of the house because it's very dangerous. Anak ha, yung can't mo, dapat yun may apostrophe siya sa
Apostrophe.
between N and T.
Correct.
Yes.
So thank you for your responses and
Gagaling
especially
ng mga-
for those who answered
Oo.
cannot. or
Gagaling ng
can't.
mga bata natin.
Yes.
Okay.
So next, let's give the time to Teacher Susan.
Yes, again, good morning, our dear learners. So the last are modals used to express ability, and these are can and could. We can use the modal verb can in two ways, to offer and to express ability. Number one is to offer. Offers are used to say what someone is willing to do for someone else. The other person can accept the offer or refuse it. Offers are always in the present because they require an answer. So to make an offer, you can use the modal can. Let us read the examples. Can I help you? Okay, I can give you a hand. When you say I can give you a hand, that means you are offering your help. Another example, I can tell you where the bookstore is. So the speaker here is willing to tell or show where the bookstore is. Remember, you can also express an offer in question form like the first example. Can I help you? Can you tell me where the bookstore is? Then answer may be positive or negative. But whether it is accepted or not, it is customary to thank the person for the offer. For example, can I help you? Positive response, oh yes, thank you. Negative response, not necessary, but thank you for the offer. Number two use of can is to express ability. We use the modal can to show that someone has or doesn't have an ability to do something. Example, has the ability to do something. I can recite the poem fluently. That means you have or he or she has the ability to recite the poem fluently. Another example, I can play the guitar. Another example, Heidel and Diaz can lift heavy weights. But if someone doesn't have the ability to do something, we use cannot or the contracted form can't. Okay, remember always can't, C-A-N, then you should write the apostrophe between N and T. Can't. Okay, we then can say, I can't recite the poem fluently. I can't play the piano. I can't play the guitar. I can't lift the heavy weights, or I can't lift heavy weights. Another modal used to express ability is could. Okay, let's proceed to could. Could is used in formal expression. It is more formal. It is also used to suggest possibility, agility, and suggestions. Example, no? Use could if you are in a formal situation, like if you are talking to your superior or your boss or maybe tita or mother. And use can if you are talking to your friends or superiors. Okay, listen to the examples then. In making offers, can I get you a drink? Could I get you a drink, sir? Notice which is formal. Can I help you with that? Could I help you with that, ma'am? In making request, can you pass me the salt? Could you pass me the salt, please? Can I speak to David? Could I speak to David, please? Asking for permission. Can I borrow your pen? Could I borrow your pen, please? Can I take the day off tomorrow? Could I take the day off tomorrow, please? Notice the use of can and could. Letter B. we use could in expressing possibility. You could be the first place in the writing contest. The train could be late. If you don't study, you could fail the examination. In expressing possibility, we use could. We also use could to express agility. What is agility? Agility is the ability to move quickly and easily. It is also the ability to think and understand quickly. Here are examples of sentences showing agility as the ability to move quickly and easily. The kid could easily match the colors in Rubik's Cube. Another example, he could endlessly run fast without easily getting tired. Well, I cannot do that. How about an example of a sentence showing ability to think and understand quickly? He could easily complete mental math problems. How about you, Ma'am Dumon? Okay, that remains to be seen. Next, we use could to express suggestion. Example, we could go to the dinner after the movie. Another example, we could try the new Italian restaurant tonight. Another example, you could ask your sister to lend you some money. So remember, dear learners, could is more formal. Use could if you are talking to your bosses, maybe a superior or someone who is older than you. Now, for your activity, dear learners, please send your answers to your subject teachers as proof of your attendance or as proof of your recitation. No? No. On the screen, you can see there images of our leaders, our local leader, Sir or Mayor Christian Nino Wee, and of course our President, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Now, please send in your answers to your subject teachers. Give the abilities of the person in the picture using can. Can. Give the abilities. Can. C-A-N. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ma'am Raquel.
Alright, so let me test if you understood the lesson. Okay? So, number 1, you will just comment on the chat box, okay, the letter of your answer. So, this is the first sentence. We blank take photos inside. It's forbidden, okay? Particularly, it is a rule. So, it is under prohibition. Okay, so what's your answer? Is it cannot, should not, or C, must not?
Teacher Raquel, don't forget to mention the letter.
Okay, we have Cyril May Limos. Answers letter C, must not.
Okay.
We have Kimberly Kainga. What we're going to do here? Are we going to accept only the first one or what?
The first,
we have Kimberly Kaingat Mendoza, letter A, cannot.
Okay, what is the first answer?
The first answer is letter C, must not.
Okay.
That's the correct answer.
That's the correct answer. Okay.
The correct
Next.
answer is
Thank
must
you.
not. Because it is prohibition. Okay, number 2. Okay, it expresses ability. He is amazing. He blank speak 5 languages, okay, including Mandarin. Okay.
So he's
A,
a polyglot.
can, B, should, or C, must. It is ability, an ability. So what is your answer?
Is it A, B, or C?
Okay, we have another answer here from Jewel Lacanilao. That's letter A, can.
Okay. So the answer is letter A. So thank you, dear learners. So that's all for today. Okay, for the... Okay, so on behalf of my fellow grade 9 teachers and our technical specialist, Sir Joshel, okay, thank you so much. So would like to leave you this quote: you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. So I know that we are all able to ride the waves with ease. Okay, so till next time, our next lesson will be conditionals.
Okay, so our dear learners, grade 9 learners, we hope that you had a fun-filled experience from today's discussion. For our next live stream, we shall be talking about commutative styles. Thank you very much. Please stay tuned for the next conditional, right? Conditional. Please stay tuned for the next RBI lesson of mathematics for grade 10 after 106.3 FM Palita.
Facts and information. Today's learning for new normal with capable teachers whose heart and soul are divine. Delivered knowledge inside your home through 106.3 Dance Radio. Fully dedicated to serve the public in tribute to education, reproduce of radio-based instruction. We are pleased to deliver the utmost aim of education. Only here on 106.3 TWDR-FM. Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan, ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWDR-FM.